Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight, it's full moon. I don't know if you guys looked outside. It's quite bright outside. And that means one thing only. Bitcoin is about to pump. But no, seriously, there are major inflows though. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about everything else that's going on. And is Bitcoin going to pump because of the full moon? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about everything else that's going on today. Let's do it. Welcome. Well, you know what? Speaking of pumping, Bitcoin isn't doing too bad right now. 67.6. Making a little move. Can we see 68 again tonight? Let's see. But overall, we know a big move is coming, right? You could just see it. You can feel it. We are at the cusp of a big move, especially when we have major inflows, right? When we have major inflows, which equates to major buying, it's going to have an effect. It's really that simple. I don't think a lot of people realize, and I make this point every single stream, and yes, I do repeat it often, and yes, it does seem like I repeat myself very often, but you know what? Sometimes there are new people that just do not get it. But why does price go up? It comes down to supply and demand, okay? When demand goes up and supply goes down, that's why price goes up. It's really that simple. And right now, you have a ton of demand, a ton of people that are buying. It's just that simple, right? Especially when it comes to ETFs. We have seen tremendous amount of buying with the ETFs. 1.3 billion in 3 days. I mentioned that. That does not include today. If you look at today, we have some big buying as well. We have ARK buying 100 million today out of the blue. Even Grayscale. Grayscale for 4 days in a row. No outflows. Only inflows. Grayscale. Grayscale notorious for outflows. But even Grayscale is now having inflows. And you know, BlackRock's had 80 million, 290 million, 400 million. What do they have today? 500 million? We don't know, but massive amount of inflows. So what does this mean? It only means one thing. This is going to add up, a supply shock, right? And what happens with supply shock? That means the price goes up. I've shown you guys many charts that show exchange reserves going down. This is having effect. Maybe not immediate effect, but it is having effect. When you take tens of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin out of circulation, it is going to have effect. Ooh, we're seeing effect right now. We're going a little bit higher, Full moon. Let's see. So you know what? All you got to do is wait. A lot of buying going on. And look at this. Morgan Stanley, one of the bigger banks out there, just revealed they have close to $300 million of physical Bitcoin. Not ETF. They just hold $300 million of Bitcoin. That's awesome. That's awesome, right? You're just getting a whole bunch of banks, institutions, companies that are just buying a whole lot of Bitcoin. This is what inflow looks like. That's why Bitcoin continues to creep up and up and up and up. And pretty soon, we could see that all-time high, right? We're not that far off. We're really not. And look at this. This is staggering in case it still hasn't hit you yet. Look at the new wallets over 1,000 Bitcoin. So this, of course, are the new whales. Okay, this is excluding like exchanges and miners. Look at how staggering that looks. This is all within 2024. So look at how many new whales have come into this space, right? They know something. They're getting ready because they now understand. Well, number one, they either understand what Bitcoin's about and they're trying to hedge against inflation, or number two, they're getting ready for the bull run, right? One of the two. They're getting ready, just like we are for 68,000, right? So that is absolutely fantastic. And also, just to remind you guys, well, now we're a little bit higher than this, but this morning I said we're about 10% away from all-time high. Now we're a little bit higher, but we are literally only 8% away from making a new high. So there are so many people that are still kind of bearish. I just saw one person saying, where's October? We're only 8% away from all-time high. We could be hitting all-time high tomorrow. Like literally tomorrow, we could be seeing all-time high. We are so close, and we're still like mid-October. There's plenty of time to go. And once we break all-time high, we could still see 80,000 by the end of this month. I really think we still have a chance, especially with the major inflows and the major buying that we have been seeing recently. And of course, we have many catalysts. We know another rate cut is coming. We know the macro conditions are improving. We know a big presidential elections is coming up, right? We know a lot of major things are coming up. We got the Santa rally coming up. We got the growing fundamentals, right? We got a lot of factors at play. These are all great things. This 8% could be wiped out in a blink of an eye. So it's looking pretty darn good. All this is adding up. It's adding up, right? So according to Mags, we just got to break out of this trend line. And I'll argue we did. We're already above it. We just need to get that solid push. I think this morning I showed you guys there are a lot of shorts piled on between 68 and 69,000. We just need a little push. We need to liquidate all those shorts. Once we push above 69, the sky is clear. Right now there are a lot of sell walls, a lot of shorts trying to make sure that we don't break $69,000. I'll show you guys. I saw this the other day. But once we do, the sky is the limit. Look at that. Right there. Look at where we are. Look at, we're pressing up against that wall, right? Once we break through that, it's actually not even at $69. It's like right where we are, right around 68. Once we break through that, the sky is clear, right? So we got a big sell wall, and we are looking good if we shatter through that. If we shatter through that, we could be at 73,000 tomorrow. Even tonight, we will get a massive short squeeze if we get through there. And it doesn't even look like it's that big. You know, honestly, I don't know how many people are willing to short Bitcoin and set a sell wall at 68,000 right now. Like, that's dangerous. Like, who's going to be setting their sell wall right now at 68,000? You're basically asking to be liquidated, right? So big things are happening. Big things. Here's another fractal pattern comparing currently what we're going through and what happened in the 2017 cycle when Bitcoin literally did a 20x, went from sub 1,000 and did not stop until it hit $20,000. Well, of course, it did have some up and downs, but man, I remember 2017. That's when I came back. That was when ETH was still like sub 100. I think ETH was at one point like $10. That was a crazy run, but it also started in October. It started October and never really looked back, and it just kept going, going, going. We had multiple 30, 40% drops, but nevertheless, it just kept going. We could be seeing the same thing for the remainder of this year and 2025, right? So as you can see right now, we're having a hard time pushing through because of all those shorts piled on right now that we're pressing up against. All stacked up between 68 and 68.2. I wish I could zoom in on this. I don't know how to zoom in on this. If I could zoom in, I just don't know how to zoom in. But looking at this, it really is all piled up right between where we are, 67.9 and all the way up to about 68.3. That's it. It's just that like $300 gap. Once we get through that, it's clear, like it's over. And we're pressed right up against it. A lot of shorts are about to get wrecked right now. Oh, someone says go to the 12-hour. There we go. Yeah, well, it's a little bit zoom in, but you could see, and it's not even that much. There's a huge buy wall below. You could see the buy wall below around right here, like the 66.5 mark. That's pretty big. So we're not going to drop below that, but like, man, this one right here, 68 something. Anyways, looking forward to that. What else is there? Jelly thinks that we're in this megaphone pattern, a bullish megaphone pattern. And you know what? This is showing that we will be going to $180,000. That's actually pretty conservative compared to some of the estimates out there. Like this one that is predicting that we will hit $260,000. And then afterwards, $800,000. And afterwards, $1.9 million. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense. 260,000, I think, is definitely within range. After this one, 800,000. That makes sense. That's not even $1 million. That's a little bit less than 4x. I mean, you have diminishing returns, obviously, right? So it kind of makes sense. Think about it. And this 1.9 million prediction, that's like 2034. That's only 10 years from now. It seems like that's so far out, but 10 years, that's like a blink of an eye. That's not that far out. So think about it. If you simply buy and hold Bitcoin, and you hold it for 10 years, each one could be worth $2 million. Oh, I think those shorts are starting to get liquidated one by one. A lot of liquidations happening right now. If we could break through the 68.2, it's over for them. It's over. Okay, and then a few other things. Stacks is going through their Nakamoto upgrade. It's going to happen right around October 29. It's based on blocks, so it might be off a few days. That will be pretty awesome. Stacks, of course, is a layer 2 for Bitcoin, allows programmable language to happen. They're not the only player in the game, but they are definitely one of the biggest. Sam Altman, who's behind ChatGPT, his project WorldCoin has been relaunched as World Network, and it has his own chain now called World Chain. I'm not sure why he needed to do that. It got pretty bad press, but it's doing quite well. I don't know, somewhat well. It's really like, it's really to detect if people are AI or not, but it's a surveillance program. Like you have to scan your retina and stuff. I don't know. I'm not really for it, but maybe he could turn it into a gold mine. I don't know. Maybe if he integrates ChatGPT into it somehow. What else is there? Lastly, Anatoly of Solana says meme coins are a good thing for crypto. forcing projects to prove value. I don't know how meme coins prove they have value other than just build communities. I think that's the big thing that he's missing. Really, meme coins are good because they force projects to build community, not to prove value. Meme coins really have no value. The value is the community base. If you build a community, I think a lot of people got liquidated just now. Yeah, look at that. We're shattering through this. I mean, most of this is like closed already, I think. I mean, we're busting right through that, I think. Yeah, look at this. Volume is still a little low. Like to see a bit more volume, but I do think a lot of shorts just got wrecked right now. You could see this contract, it was at 20 million. I think it just went down to 16, I think, or maybe, no, yeah, 24 hours, 12 hours down to 16. It'll be awesome to see us go to 69.5 tomorrow. In case you guys are wondering, it is a full moon. And full moons are usually pretty good. And I'll prove it. Look at this. Full moon, okay? The last full moon that we had, look at what happened. We went from here, boom, up here, right? Look at this. Full moon, here, boom. Right? Not every full moon is good. I mean, this full moon we went down. But, you know, this full moon we went down. But usually something happens at full moon. Like this one, full moon went up. Look at this full moon. This one, look at this. Boom. That was a crazy full moon. This full moon looks like we're going to go up. But like, you know, something always wacky happens with full moons. Either up or down. Hopefully today's is good. Up. We gotta shatter through this. That's what we need. We need to shatter through it. We need a bit more volume. Right now the volume is still not quite there. We need a little more volume to drive us higher. Insta gains. We're all George, just like Satoshi Nakamoto. Happy Friday Eve from Iowa. It's not Friday yet, right? It's Thursday Eve. But thank you. Can you check out Exodia, meme coin, hedge fund? Probably not. I don't want to check out meme coins right now. But thank you for that. Dan Cody on top says, George, I believe there will be a time that people will believe in Bitcoin and there will be a massive buy soon. There will be no halving. It will not go down. It will just be like the internet. Everyone will want it, then game over. Yeah, I think so. I think I get what you're saying. But yeah, I agree with you. At one point in time, everyone just go buy and hold it, and that's it. They'll never go down anymore. Barack is a new member. Welcome. All right, I think I got all the super chats on top there. Nine breaker. George Effect is a high hit percentage. I'm long the next George Effect. A lot of people have said that when I stream, it tends to go up, and then when I exit, it tends to go down. But you know what? It doesn't always happen. Ellie, thank you. Why are so many people buying gold? BTC is much better. I agree. I don't know why. There are some people just never, ever will trust Bitcoin, especially the old people. Even though some have started turning to Bitcoin, they still prefer the preference of something physical. But the funny thing is, they buy gold stocks and gold, like, you know, ETFs they're not even actually buying gold, physical gold. So even though their argument is, oh, I want to buy something that's physical, but they're not actually buying physical gold. They're still buying paper gold. So that logic still doesn't make any sense. You buy a gold ETF, you're not going to redeem it. So it doesn't even make any sense. Last 15 minutes, not bad. Actually, right now it doesn't look like there's not that much. Well, last 5 minutes a lot. A lot of it just happened last 5 minutes. So looking at this, probably about 10 million. Probably 10 million just happened within the last 5 minutes. When we shatter 68,000. So those that had their shorts set at, that sell wall at 68 something, they're gone. How can we protect against MEV bots? You can't really. You just have to have enough buy pressure to overcome it, really. A lot of memes get destroyed by it. Can I bench more than Vitalik? I certainly hope so. If you could bench more than me, then there's something wrong with the world. Man, this 68.2 is hard to crack. We need to crack it and utilize it as support. We really need to just break through. It's a tough cookie. Have I been to China ever? Yes. I have been to Shanghai before, and this one other city, I forgot what it is. I've been to Hong Kong too. Why do you ask? But it's been many, many years, like 10 plus years. When will you shoot basket for all-time high? I was just actually shooting before it was streaming. And it tired me out. There are a lot of exchanges. If you're asking Glenn, if you're asking, you could do Coinbase, you could do Kraken, Crypto.com, who's my partner, also Gemini. If you're in the US, there are a lot of options. What is your favorite dish? Recently, I've been craving pizza, but I don't eat it because I've been trying to cut out all carbs. But I do crave pizza, and of course, I always enjoy burger. But recently, I've been cutting like my intake by a lot. Unlike ETFs intaking a lot of Bitcoin, I've been cutting my caloric intake by a ton. Man, my camera's very, very blurry for some reason. There we go. Soon as check hits tonight, 1K worth of Bitcoin. Congrats. Congrats. Or, I don't know if that makes sense. Good job. Have I finally gave in and added XRP to my portfolio? No. No. Man, we just need a little more push. We tried twice now to break through 68.2. Couldn't do it. Usually third time's a charm. Like usually it takes 3 times to push through it. We need one more big push. Thoughts on a new Forerunner TRD Pro versus the old one. The old one's, you know, been around for way too long. It's good that they're finally redoing it, and the new one looks much better. I haven't driven it yet. I've driven the old one many, many times. It's super reliable, fun to drive, but very outdated. What else is moving tonight? Besides Bitcoin, let's look at Stacks is moving up a little bit. Sol's moving a little bit. Jupiter a little bit, 2%. You got WIF doing 4%. Turbo, you know, up 3. Pepe up 6% today. It just froze. There we go. Oh, Pepe just big volume. Pepe is pumping right now, leading the way. Let's add a 1 hour in here. Floki, Pepe are leading away, and Celestia. I don't know why Shiba's listed in here, even though it's negative. You got all the memes leading away. Mog, Nero, Whiff, Meow, Bonk. Like every single meme is leading away right now within the last hour. That's how you know retail is FOMOing right now. F8 or SVJ and Y. SVJ and F8 are not in the same class, man. SVJ has an old transmission, a single clutch transmission, so I've been told it's not fun to drive around. F8, you could drive around, it's nice. I actually brought mine in for service today. You get 7 years of free service, which is cool. So, just a tidbit in case you wanted to know. SVJ is it looks, I would say the Lambo looks cooler. SVJ you know, what is it, butterfly doors look cooler, but I hear they drive really bad because of the single clutch transmission. Been a long time viewer. Your thoughts on Rain on poll. Is Rain a new meme coin? I've never heard of it, Ellie. I'm sorry, I've never heard of it. Any price prediction on Pepe? I think Pepe could be the Doge of this cycle. I'm actually pretty bullish on Pepe. I think they'll overcome their controversies, and now they are a blue chip of memes. And I think this cycle they could do very, very far. And think about this. This is the amazing thing about Pepe. They have come this far without being listed on Coinbase. Imagine when they do get listed on Coinbase. How much is oil change out of some years? I don't know. I think for our oil change is like 1,000 something. But it includes like all the fluids, like, you know, radiator fluid and brake fluid and all the fluids. I think they do all the fluids at one time. Like, it's not unreasonable. It's a little bit more pricey, but it's within reason compared to the price of the car, I would say. But I was in a showroom with my salesperson, and they had some crazy cars. They had an F40 there, which is like a $3 million car now. They had was it Daytona SP3s? They're like, and two of them, like they're like $3 million cars. They had a lot of SF90s, the 296s. They had just like crazy cars in the showroom. They have a brand new 296 that a customer didn't want to pick up. If any of you guys are interested, they actually do have one. It was going for 429,000. Brand new, 2024, red. Califree, do you have a public address we can send to? No. Unless you're telling me you go send me a good amount, then I'll give you one. If you go send me like a whole Bitcoin because you're a billionaire, then I will give you my address. I'll create a new address just so you can send it to me. Alex Diamond, making life-changing money this cycle. I hope you make life-changing wealth. Do you have any classic Ferraris and how do you like them? I don't. I still like the looks of the 355. I don't know if you consider that classic, but they're prone to catching on fire and burning up. But I do really like the look of that still. What's up with Satoshi's wallet movement? Have you heard that? I have not heard that. What are your thoughts on Chile's recent moves? Peppercoin that was just launched, Brazilian stablecoin. You know what? You're the first person to ask me, Jalamas, about Chile's in like probably a year. Not one person have asked me about Chile's in a long time. They're just not popular in the US. I mean, all their coins are securities in Europe. In the US, no one talks about them. So I can't say. They don't seem to have a lot of movement right now. I know they signed up a lot of sports teams to do like, you know, fan base stuff, but they're just not really popular at this point. Rain isn't a meme. As interesting tokenomics, nightly rewards, 1 million supply, operates autonomously. Anything that has like what you said, nightly rewards, it sounds like Wonderland or Hex or whatever those, any of those that like promises like some kind of like high reward system. If it's anything like that, it's not sustainable. Man, too bad. We need a little bit more pressure to push above again. We need to break that 68.2. Sui versus Solana. Can Sui do more X's this cycle versus Solana? Keep in mind, Sui, it went on a tremendous run. But like I said, a lot of whales may be taking their profits now, and it may be stagnant now for a while. So, you know, I've seen this time and time again. We have seen some crazy runs with some projects before, and then they become stagnant for a while, right? Not to say that it has to happen. It could continue to do well, but I still like Sol. But I think Sui can do just as well. I don't know which one's going to do better this cycle, but Sol definitely has a bigger ecosystem at this point. But Sui can continue to grow and continue to do well, nevertheless. The ecosystem is certainly big enough for both. I really would like to get a 355, especially you know, a gated 355, not the F1 355. A gated 355 convertible would still be really nice and a head turner, but they are extremely prone to catching on fire, and they are extremely hard to do maintenance. You have to literally take out the engine to do maintenance. So that's why they're really cheap, because no one wants them. Do you think cock will make a comeback? Yes. The cock will erect once again. Do you like the F80? No, I think Ferrari really effed up on the F80, man. I think it's gonna be a big flop. Um, it's so underwhelming. The looks is fine. The F80 is like 1180 horsepower and is a hybrid V6. First of all, you buy exotic car for the sound. One of the main things is the sound. V6s do not sound well. It's a hybrid V6. It doesn't matter if it produces 1200 horsepower. It's not even 1200. It does not go sound well. And this day and age, 1200 horsepower is not that impressive, especially considering it's a $4 million car. And considering GM's Corvette ZR1, which is going for $200,000, it has 1100 horsepower with a twin turbo V8, no hybrid, and it just clocked in 233 miles per hour top speed, which probably is equal, if not faster, than the F80. It makes Ferrari's F80 look so underwhelming. I don't know what Ferrari was doing. After GM released the ZR1, Ferrari should have just like gone back to the drawing board and said, hey, we need more time to up our car. That is supposed to be their pinnacle car. It's supposed to last for 10 years before they come out with another one. That F80 is so underwhelming. The LaFerrari still, to me, is better car. I don't know what happened with that. It's compared to SF90, it's only 200 more horsepower. It doesn't even make a lot of sense. And then the Corvettes, I mean, GM's going to make another vet that's above the ZR1 called Zora. And the Zora could have 1300 horsepower because they're going to make that a hybrid. So it might be 1200, 1300, whatever. And if they make that better than the F80, then it's going to make Ferrari look even stupider. I don't know. Anyways, I know the argument will always be, yeah, Ferrari is a Ferrari and GM is GM, but still, you still have to make your car perform, right? You can't just have a Ferrari name and perform like shit. Still. Anyways, we're coming back up again, 67.9. So we may be testing that 68.2 again. Is it dumb not to use at least 2x leverage? I've made that argument before, but the thing is, I think the answer is yes, but the problem is it also makes you greedy. Anyone that's ever used a 2x leverage will then say, okay, let me try 3x leverage. And then we'll say, okay, let me try 5x leverage. And then to go do, okay, let me try 10x leverage, and then boom, get liquidated. It always leads to that. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But like greed always takes over, like guaranteed every single time. Will Injective be stagnant like Sui? I mean, I think Injective will get its turn. It's been stagnant for a while. I still like Injective. I think they can turn around. Bronco, Wild Track, or Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah, I love Broncos. A lot of people love Broncos. I would totally get a Bronco just for the winter, just as a beater car. I think Broncos are awesome. Mark Jacobson, if you want a long, George, realistic, what is the best leverage amount? 2 to 5x max. That gives you 20 to 50% safety net. Yeah. Realistically, if you wanted to be ultra safe and still get the leverage power, I would say don't exceed 3x. 3x still gives you a 33%, safety net. For something to go down 33%, takes a catastrophic fall, right? For Bitcoin to go down 33%, it takes a lot for that to happen. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's going to be rare, right? If you wanted basically no chance of liquidation, then just go 2x. 3x, it's an off chance. For alts, it definitely can happen. It happens often for alts. For Bitcoin, it's rare. If you do a 2x, it's near impossible. It could happen, but like a 50% drop for Bitcoin at this point is near impossible. Can it happen? Sure. But is it likely? No. You could always do 2.5, you can do like 0.5, but I opened 90x, one Bitcoin long at 62K. I'm waiting to take profit 70K. 90x? Sonny, you're asking to get liquidated, man. If we get one nasty drop, that's a little too risky. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Anyways, all right, I'm going to let you guys go. Ending on a high note. 67.9 is pretty good. Let's wake up. Let's wake up to 69,000 tomorrow. Just need a little push. Just a little push past. We had like 10 million liquidation, short liquidation. We need a little bit more to push back up here. And maybe we will wake up right around here, 69.5. All right, stay strong, guys. We got major things happening, of course. Major inflows, and it means one thing: Bitcoin's going up. It's going up. So stay strong, stay focused. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one.